All right, in chapter 5, section 3, we are going to solve polynomials by factoring. So we factored in the past with an x squared term, but now we're going to factor with higher than x squared. So what would we do first here? In factoring, what do we need it to be equal to? We need it to be equal to 0. So we subtract 3x from both sides. So we have 2x to the 3 minus 5x squared minus 3x is equal to 0. So now we can pull out any common terms that we have. So since we have an x in all three of these, we can take out an x. And we have left 2x squared minus 5x minus 3. And now we have an x squared term in here, so we can just factor it like normal. So how would we factor 2x squared minus 5x minus 3? Remember when we did this and we multiplied the first and the last? And we got -6, and then we need two factors of -6 that add up to -5.
Yeah.
So what would our factors be?
-5. Wait, no. -2 and
-2 and -3. But that would give us a +6. So what are two other factors of -6?
Oh, -6 and +1.
-6 and +1. So we put -6 and +1. And we put x and x. What do we have to do next? We divide by this number out front. So we have x times x minus 3 is times 2x plus 1. So this is just a review of what we've done in the past.
Why'd you divide it by 2?
Because we had to divide the numbers by this number out front.
So you multiply the first and last one?
Why did you change it to like?
Because if it doesn't go in evenly, we have to move it up front.
Why did you, because it says 2x to the power of 2, but like in the first one, it says to the power of 3.
So it went from x to the power of 3 to the power of 2 because we took out an x from all three terms in our step 1. So we went from here to here by taking out an x. Because each term had an x in common, so we took it out, and then we factored like normal. Okay, let's do another example. So we have 2x cubed plus 2x squared minus 4x. What do we do first here? We can take out an x. Is there anything else we can take out? Any numbers that all three of these have in common? 2. So what do we have left over when we take out a 2x? X squared plus x minus 2. We have 2 left over. Perfect. So now we can break down this parentheses into 2 other parentheses. So we can factor this just like normal. So we need 2 factors of -2 that add up to +1. What are they going to be? What is it? 2 and -1. Perfect. So we put our 2 and our -1, and we just put our x's. And then we can't forget about this 2x out front. That just stays out front. So the only thing that's different here is we pull out something from the start. Other than that, we're just factoring like normal. All right, next we have factoring with the sum or difference of cubes. So we've done the sum and difference of squares, but now we have an x cubed, so it's a little different. So if we have the sum of cubes, so let's say we have a cubed plus b cubed, we're going to find out what our a and our b are, and we're just going to put it into this formula here. We do the same thing for our difference of cubes. So difference of cubes, we're just subtracting a cube number minus a cube number. And we just put it into this formula here. So these two formulas are pretty much the same thing. The only thing that changes are the signs. So the sum of cubes, the signs go plus, minus, plus. And the difference of cubes, the signs go minus, plus, plus. So that's the only thing that's changing in our formulas. All right, let's do some examples. These are common cubes that we have. So 1 cubed is 1. 2 cubed is 8. 3 cubed is 27. 4 cubed is 64. And 5 cubed is 125. These are common ones that you'll see in the examples and in the homework. So it's important to know these. First, we have our sum of cubes example. So we have x cubed plus 64 is equal to 0. So step 1 is we need to find our a and we need to find our b. What's our a? So this is our a cubed, but just our a would be x. So again, this is our b cubed, so it would just our b be. What cubed is equal to 64?
4.
4. So our b is going to be 4. And now what's our sum of cubes formula? So remember, in sum of cubes, our signs go plus, minus, plus. And then we just need to fill in our a and b. So we have a plus b, a squared, a times b, and b squared. And now we just need to put our x and our 4. Our x goes where our a's are, and our 4 goes where the b's are. So we're going to have x plus 4 in our first parentheses. Then we have x squared minus 4 times x plus, what is 4 squared? 16. So plus 16. And this is our final answer. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that's the formula, really?
Yeah, this one here is the formula. Ready for another example? Okay, again, we have the sum of cubes. So what do we need to do first? Find the a and b. So the a is x, and what's the b? Remember, this is our b cubed, so we need to find what number cubed gives us 8. 2. Perfect. So now we have our formula again. Remember, in sum of cubes, our signs go plus, minus, plus. And we have a plus b, a squared, a times b, and b squared. So what's going to go in our first parentheses? X plus 2. And what's going to go in our second parentheses? x squared minus 2x, because we just have a times b, so 2 times x, and then plus b squared,
4.
which is 4. Perfect.
Why would it be 2 times x if it's a times b? Because 2 is b.
Yeah, so we have a times b, so x times 2.
Yeah, so wouldn't. Oh, okay.
So we just flipped it because we never say x times 2 like that. We always put the number first. It would be 2x. So that's why we flip it. So this is our final answer. Ready for the next one? Okay, now we have the difference of cubes. What do we need to do first here? Find the a and b, but we need it to be equal to 0. So how do we get it to be equal to 0? So we subtract 1 from both sides. So our new equation is 8x cubed minus 1 is equal to 0. So we need our a and we need our b. What's our a? So this first term is our a cubed.
2.
So we need the number, so 2, because 2 cubed gives us 8. And how do we get x cubed? What do we need with that 2? X. So if we cubed 2 times x, we would get 8x cubed. And what about our second term? What's our b?
1
Just 1. In the difference of cubes, difference means that we're subtracting, so we're always going to have that subtraction sign in the middle. So our a and b are just going to be positive numbers. So now we're going to have the same formula, but our signs are different. What are our signs in the difference of cubes?
Minus plus plus.
Minus, plus, plus. So we have a minus b, a squared, a times b, and b squared.
Why is it like that?
That's just the formula that we were given, so it's... Okay, so now we're going to plug in our a's and b's. So what's going to go in the first parentheses? 2x minus 1. And what goes in our second parentheses? 2x squared. And then we have a times b, which is 2x times 1, which would just be 2x. And then we have our b squared, just 1. But now we need to change this 2x squared.
4x.
Perfect, it would be 4x squared. So we have 2x minus 1 times 4x squared. So we need to square the 2 and we square the x. And then plus 2x plus 1.
Wait, why'd you keep the square?
I kept the squared because it's x squared here.
So it's only affecting the
Well, yeah, we can't like simplify because we need to square the 2 and we need to square the x. So when we square the 2, it becomes a 4. But when we square the x, it's just x squared. So this is our final answer. We have one example left. Yay. So again, we have the difference of cubes. What do we need to do first? Find a and b. What's our a going to be? Just x. And what's our b?
27.
Remember, 27 is our b cubed.
3.
So it's 3. So now we need our formula. What are the signs in the difference of cubes formula?
Plus,
Minus plus plus.
Minus, plus, plus. So we have a minus b, a squared, ab, and b squared. And now I just plug it in. So what's going to go in our first parentheses? X minus 3. And what's going to go in our second parentheses?
X squared.
Uh-huh.
3x plus 3.
So we have 3 squared. What would 3 squared be? 9. And this is our final answer. Yes. When Alyssa comes back. Any questions on this?
Can you go back to explaining the first part?
Yeah.